Why only 9 students has joined so far? Where are the others? Ashish, what you can do is convert 8 bits 2 times and join both the waveforms together. Okay. They are taking preparation for exam. Okay. So which exam is there tomorrow? Suman, no, it will not be okay because you haven't take my confirmation, right? And 16 digits are given, so you cannot generate the waveform for 10 digits, no? You have to make it for 16 digits. You can resubmit it, no problem. No, Ashish, whatever you are drawing by like hand manually, that will also be okay. No exceptions will be accepted. Okay. So everyone has to do the task, whatever is written. Tomorrow is last date. I hope you all remember for the lab exercise 7, line coding. Okay, so I think students will join meanwhile. Can we start our lecture today? Just a minute, let me share the screen. Okay, so can you see the screen now? Can you see the screen? sorry, there was an internet connection. Okay, let me share the screen. Are you able to see PPT, guys? Okay, fine. I think yesterday we have completed the type of transmission medium which wired medium we have covered, and which we have seen three types of cables can be used for different type of communication, like a twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, or fiber optic cable. In which we have seen that twisted pair cable can be used for telephone lines, or you can say that
Sound is
for
not clear.
sound is not clear. Every space is a problem.
Yes,
Maybe
ma'am.
actually today I'm at college and I'm using this Wi-Fi, so maybe there will be a problem, little bit problem today. But actually right now the connection is proper. I don't know why it is. There is a problem. Okay, let me know if it is coming okay. Hello, is it clear voice or yet not clear? Not yet. Oh, the connection is totally proper, but I don't know why it is happening. Hello everyone. Is it okay now? Okay, fine. So I have connected my mic from the phone, and okay, I'm continue with this presentation. So let us see. In this physical medium, we have seen that different type of cables can be used for different type of applications. Now it is okay, everyone. I have changed the place even. Okay, fine. So, twisted pair cable. Let's talk about the first cable we have discussed yesterday. That is twisted pair cable, and that is being used in the different type of application like the telephone lines as well as in the Ethernet, LAN Ethernet, right? So, two types of connectors can be used for the telephone lines as well as the LAN. For LAN and telephone lines, the connectors are different. Otherwise, the cable inside it will be same. But in the telephone lines, there are two pairs of the twisted pair cable, and in the LAN connector, there are four pairs of the twisted pair cable that we have seen, right? Second was coaxial cable. So we have seen the different applications and the different connectors, yeah, used in the coaxial cable, and the most common application is the television cable, right? So in this coaxial cable, we have seen that the copper wire is insulated with a plastic material, and then it is coated with the or shielded with the again a metal material, and again there is an insulation and a jacket, right? So that type of coaxial cable can be used in a different application where the cable, you can say thickness, the cable thickness of the copper wire can be different for the different applications according to the government standard. Okay, and the last we have studied was the fiber optic cable. So in this fiber optic cable, we have seen that it is having a huge bandwidth, and that's why we can send so many data, or you can say the data with a high transfer rate, as well as it is having no interference or noise problem in between, because uh, the cladding part we are using in our optical fiber is having a high reflective property or characteristics, right? So it will not able to enter any noise or interference signal cannot be entered into your original data which is passing through the core material. Okay, so that things we have seen so far. And the second type of transmission medium, what we are going to study today, is wireless medium, right? Which is also known as unguided medium, which is not a physical medium. Okay, so three types of medium, wireless medium we are going to see today. One is the radio waves, second is the microwaves, and third is the infrared waves. Radio wave, microwave, and infrared waves. So let us see one by one. But let me tell you here, whenever I will tell you that wireless medium, I do not say that signal or cable or something like that. Right? I am saying saying in terms of waves. So first of all, we will study about wave, which type of waves can be there. The different waves will require a medium or not, right? So let us start with the wave. So wave can be described as a disturbance that travels through a medium from one location to another location. And wave is nothing but a simple energy signal. Okay, so wave is a transfer of energy, usually through a form of matter called a medium. But there are some special type of waves are also there that can travel without a medium. It means it will not require any medium like water or air or something like that, right? And those waves which will not require any type of medium are known as electromagnetic waves, okay, or EM waves, which are the waves like radio waves and the microwaves. So radio waves and microwaves do not require any specific type of medium. Unlike sound waves and water waves, electromagnetic waves don't need a fluid or a solid or even air to help them travel. Okay, from one place to another place. So obviously it is also known as electromagnetic wave, means there are a combination of two different waves. One is the electric signal and second is the magnetic signal. And both are the perpendicular to each other. I don't know whether you have studied this electromagnetic wave term previously in any subject or not, but electromagnetic wave is nothing but two waveforms are passing through the wireless medium. Actually there is no medium, I mean it will not require a specific path. It will not require a specific path. It can travel through the vacuum also, right, in a space. Okay, so EM waves can travel across the great vacuum of space, which is why we see light from the distant stars and the planets, right? So these are the, so whatever light we are seeing from the stars and planets, these are nothing but the electromagnetic waves. These are not the light waves, right? These are the electromagnetic waves. It means light in form of electric and magnetic wave. Electromagnetic waves are formed when an electric field comes in contact with a magnetic field. As I told you that in air, there will be two types of medium or two types of field. One is the electric field and second is the magnetic field. Electric field, where electric signal will give the effect. Magnetic field means where magnetic effects will be there. And whenever this type of waves are passing through both, by using both these mediums, both this field, they are known as electromagnetic waves. And the radiation of electromagnetic is a form of energy that is all around us. We all know, right now the radiation is a bigger problem because it will not require a specific path. It can travel through any space. It means radiation can be anywhere in the air, right? So this radiation is a form of energy that is all around us and takes many forms, such as radio waves, microwaves, x-rays, gamma rays. So this all type of waves and rays can generate the different energy, different form of energy, which is called as radiation, and which can affect the human being one or another way. Sunlight is also a form of energy, electromagnetic energy only, right? Because again, whenever sunlight rays are coming on the earth, it will not require, it will not follow a specific path. It will spread it over a space, right? Electromagnetic energy from the sun comes to the earth in form of radiation. So whatever energy you are feeling from the sunlight, this is nothing but radiation from the in form of sun rays. The electromagnetic spectrum describes a wide range of different electromagnetic waves. So whenever you are saying that electromagnetic waves, I mean, it can be X-rays, it can be radio waves, it can be microwaves, it can be gamma rays, right? So different type of electromagnetic waves can be divided in a spectrum, in a range of frequency, which is known as electromagnetic spectrum. So let us see how this electromagnetic spectrum looks like. So for the wireless communication, I'm talking about only, that is in a wireless communication, I'm dividing it into three parts: radio wave and microwave, infrared waves and light waves. There are other ways also, like X-rays and gamma rays and so on. But I'm right now telling you about these three waves. Radio wave and microwave are ranging in between the frequencies as low as 3 kilohertz as well as high as 300 gigahertz, right? So this radio wave and microwave can travel into this much frequency range, 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz. Infrared can be very in range of 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz, means very high frequency. And higher than this, light waves can range between 400 terahertz to 900 terahertz. So very, very high frequency it is. Okay, so there's three types of electromagnetic, these all are the electromagnetic waves: radio wave, microwave, infrared wave, or light wave, right? These all are the electromagnetic waves which will not require a specific medium and can travel into the space which is having in which the space is having the frequency from 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz, any range in between this, or in infrared and light wave, it will be the frequency in terms of terahertz also. Now, if I talk about the electromagnetic spectrum in terms of the frequencies for the different range of frequency and different applications for which is used. For example, if I am saying that, let's say DC voltage 3 hertz, DC voltage means zero frequency, okay, 0 hertz frequency. So 3 hertz, 3 kilohertz, 30 kilohertz, 3 gigahertz, 300 gigahertz. I'm dividing the whole frequency range into the different values. Why I'm doing it? Because some range is having a specific name. Whenever I will say that 3 hertz to 3 kilohertz, so it is known as ELF, that is extremely low frequency. Extremely low frequency, right? Whenever I will say that 3 kilohertz to 30 kilohertz, it is known as VLF, very low frequency. 30 kilohertz to 3 gigahertz, or actually in between also it can be there in the megahertz, okay? So that can be low frequency, very low, low frequency, high frequency, very high frequency, extremely high frequency, right? So that kind of frequency range you can define here. Next is 3 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz, 300 gigahertz to 750 terahertz, or 430 to 750 terahertz, and so on. So frequency range is from very low frequency to very high frequency. And whenever you are relating the frequency with the wavelength, so how you will say that what is the meaning of frequency? So frequency is nothing but, if you are saying about very low frequency, so the length of the wave, one wave, will be more, right? Because these are the inversely proportional. Frequency and the wavelength are actually inversely proportional. So whenever wavelength is higher, frequency is lower. Wavelength is low, frequency is, so actually frequency equal to c upon lambda. This equation you all know. We have used this equation in calculating the height of antenna also, when we were studying the modulation. Okay, so don't worry, no one is going to ask you this electromagnetic spectrum. This is just for your information. That different range of frequencies are being known as a different application, are used in a different application. Like, see, applications are mentioned over here. That if you are saying that gamma cosmic rays, so that those are for the radioactive sources. X-rays, so we are using it in a medical applications. Ultraviolet or infrared, ultraviolet, in between the infrared and ultraviolet there is a visible spectrum. Visible spectrum means human can visualize those things only, those that much frequencies only. Other than that, human cannot you can say see those lights. Okay, so this is the visible light spectrum in between the infrared and the ultraviolet. So this is nothing but the, again, sunlight rays. Whenever you are saying that microwaves, the frequency in terms of gigahertz, up to 300 gigahertz, we have already seen that it is in the microwave, and mostly we are using it in a satellite application also. So in satellite also, we are using that frequency of in the gigahertz, as well as in the microwave also we are using the frequency in gigahertz. Then is the radio frequency spectrum. So radio frequency means whatever we are using in the radio and mobile phone and TV and everything, right? So whatever waveforms we are receiving in the radio, television and mobile phones are ranging in this frequency range, which is also known as radio frequency spectrum. It is known as microwave spectrum. Next is, if you are saying that, see, right now televisions are different, right? The previous televisions were using the cathode ray tubes, right? So cathode ray tube TVs were there, where monitor directly display LCD or LED TVs were not there. Okay, so CRT monitors were using the signals of low frequency, not of the high frequencies like radio frequency spectrum. So very low frequency. Then if you are sending any electric wires, electric signals, right? So you all have seen this electric wires are connected with this type of towers, electric towers, right? Which are using the extremely low frequency. Okay, but AC anyway, but it is AC signal. Okay, and again, less than that, right, less than that frequency are known as geomagnetic, and sub extremely low frequency sources are being used in the earth and subways. So these are the different applications which are using the different frequency ranges in the electromagnetic spectrum. Radio spectrum. So if I am talking about only this one, radio frequency spectrum, right? So this radio frequency spectrum can be divided into different type of bands. 3 kilohertz to 30 kilohertz, 30 kilohertz to 300 kilohertz, right? And 30 kilohertz to 3 megahertz, and so on up to gigahertz. And for this different radio band and radio frequencies, different applications are there in which these frequencies are being used, right? So 3 kilohertz to 30 kilohertz, radio navigation. But let me tell you, this radio navigation is the AM radio. Long wave radio, AM radio, then ham radio. I hope you have heard this name, but if you haven't, don't worry, it is not of your use. It's totally about the communication part. Point to point radio, search and rescue services, FM radio in megahertz, VHF broadcast TV, UHF broadcast. So in the television also, if different type of broadcast being used, then the different frequency ranges will be used. In the cellular phones, whatever we are using, in microwave, whatever we are using, Wi-Fi, and satellite communication, the frequency will range from 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz. Actually, I think Wi-Fi and satellite is being used in the 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, it is something like that, in around that. Microwave links, Wi-Fi in 5 gigahertz band, satellite communication again can be used also in the 3 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz also, right? So because I told you that it is around 3 gigahertz. And if you are talking about the microwave links, the pure microwave frequencies that is being used in, that is 30 gigahertz to the 300 gigahertz. So different frequency range and some applications are given in the transmission, wireless transmission medium here. So actually, here I just want to tell you about the wavelength. I don't know I have already covered this part in the first chapter or not, but sometimes students are being confused between, okay, one student is asking the question about ionization and non-ionization. Okay, so see, let me show you. Yeah. So see here, some frequency ranges up to, sorry, some frequency ranges up to terahertz, up to some terahertz frequency are known as non-ionizing, right? And after that they are known as ionizing radiation. So what does it mean? Actually, this is in terms of radiation, first of all, right? So whenever you are saying that radiation are being happened in terms of ionizing or non-ionizing, that is actually in terms of atoms. So let me tell you, this ionizing word is used because the energy released or radiation happened in this range, it is because of, or it is by atoms that travels in the form of EM waves. Okay, or that actually that is only being used for the gamma rays and X-rays. Okay, generally it is used for the gamma rays or X-rays. So these are the radiation which is generated by the atoms present into, so very small atoms are present into the frequency or the waves, right? So in X-rays and gamma rays, whatever atoms are present like nucleus and protons and everything, that will release the energy. Because of their energy, whatever radiation you are feeling, that is known as ionizing radiation, right? But if you are talking about the non-ionizing radiation, the non-ionizing radiation is, you can consider that energy per quantum. Per quantum means you are not now considering per atom or molecule, right? You are not considering only electron, like, right? For example, I will say that only electron, by only proton, whatever radiation will be happened, that is known as known as non-ionizing, right? So whatever I am talking about non-ionizing, that is actually refers to the any type of radiation which is done by the electromagnetic radiation only, but it will not carry enough energy per photon, per quantum. Okay, that is completely remove the electron or atom from the frequency range or from the whatever signal you are transmitting. So this is because of waves or signals. So here what we are using, up to this range, you are transmitting signals and waves. So because of the signal part or waveform part, whatever radiation will be done, whatever energy will be released because of that signal, it is known as non-ionizing. But here it is not about the signal, it is about the small atoms. So X-rays and gamma cosmic rays are not a big term of the atoms. It is not a combination of atoms which will form energy. It is about very small particle, right, which will release the energy. So because of particle, whatever energy is being released, that is known as ionizing radiation. And because of signals, whatever energy will be received, that is known as non-ionizing in general. Okay, so both are opposite to each other. Okay, so I was talking about the wavelength. So generally people becomes confused between the two things. One is the period of one clock cycle. So how much time will be taken to complete one clock cycle? That is known as clock period or cycle time periods, a signal cycle, right? One cycle of the signal. But there is one another word, that is a wavelength. Both are different. Both are a very little difference between there. For first is the clock period. Clock period is calculated in terms of time taken by the signal to travel one cycle, right? But wavelength is the length covered by one cycle of the signal. Length, right? The name itself says that the length of the wave. So length, the distance between crest to crest, or distance between throat to throat. Actually, the peak of the signal, positive peak of the signal is known as the wave crest. Crest means the peak amplitude. And the negative peak of the signal is known as wave throat. Okay, so the distance between crest to crest, or the distance between throat to throat, is known as one wavelength. Okay, so sometimes actually in interview also I have observed that if people are asking that what is wavelength, students know what is wavelength, but they cannot explain, right? So in a very simple definition, it can be defined as the distance between crest to crest of the signal is known as one wavelength. Okay, now if you are saying that low frequency signal, so obviously whenever you are saying that low frequency, the wavelength will be high. I told you that the opposite relationship is between there, right? So F equal to C by lambda. So if you will say that low frequency signal is there, then the wavelength will be high. The length of the wave will be more. But if the high frequency signals are there, then the wavelength, one wavelength of the signal will be very short. Yeah, if someone will ask you the crest means the peak amplitude of the signal. I already told you, right? What is crest? The peak of the signal, the highest amplitude present into the signal, that is known as crest. So same band was given as before, whatever we have given in terms of application. Here it is given in terms of the wavelength. So if you are talking about the different frequency range, the wavelength will be, frequencies are increasing, but wavelengths are decreasing from kilometers to millimeters. Okay, here frequencies are increasing from kilohertz to gigahertz, and here the wavelengths are decreasing from kilometers to millimeters. So wavelength is totally opposite to the frequency, you can say. Radio wave transmission. Okay, so radio, see, whenever you are saying that radio waves are being transmitted in the frequency range in the air, right? So again, how that they will transmit, that also depends upon the frequency range as well as the wavelength. So radio waves or the electromagnetic waves that have the wavelengths between 1 millimeter to 100 kilometers, or you can say that frequencies between 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz, those are only known as radio waves. I repeat, the radio waves are the one whose frequency ranges between 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz, or the wavelengths are between 1 millimeter to 100 kilometers. Radio frequency is easy to generate because it has large wavelength and can travel long distance. Okay, radio frequency, why it is easy to generate? Because large wavelength means the signal frequency, you can say that is low. Very low frequency is also there, very high frequency is also there. Okay, so you can generate the wavelength, you can generate the waves which is having a enough distance, or enough distance will be covered by one cycle of the signal. And radio waves are generated by the either radio transmitters or the simple transmitters, and it will be received by the receivers. Why I'm saying that radio transmitters? Because generally radio transmitter word is used only in the radio application, but radio waves can be used in the cellular phones also. Radio waves can be used in the televisions also, right? So it can be generated by the transmitters and received by the receivers. Radio stations transmit radio waves using the transmitters, which are received by the receiver installed in our devices. So whatever, for example, you are considering your phone, right? So your phone is having some facility to receive the wave. So receiver is your phone. And what is the transmitter? Which is being transmitted by the towers. right? So it will be transmitted, radio waves will be transmitted by the transmitters and received by your phone, that is your receiver. Both transmitters and receivers use antennas to radiate or capture the radio signal. So yes, transmitters are using antenna to radiate the energy, and another side receiver antenna is used to capture those signals what are actually in form of radiation only. So radiations are around us, but which signal will be captured by our phone, that is dependent upon the antenna, right? So antenna will capture the particular frequency which is around us. Okay, so that frequency signals or radio signals will be captured by our devices. It can penetrate walls easily. So these waves are widely used for the communication, both indoors and outdoors. So yes, it is not, you can say, wall proof or soundproof like that, right? So it can be used, the devices, whatever are receiving the radio waves can be used in indoors or outdoors both, because these waves can transmit through the wall also. It can penetrate through the wall also. Okay. Radio waves are omnidirectional. What is omnidirectional? Anyone knows? What is omnidirectional? Have you heard this word? A very good word. Omnidirectional. Everywhere. Okay. Yes, in Benton. Okay, fine. So omnidirectional means yes. Whenever, let me give you the example. Do you think that a temple bell, everyone has seen the bell of the temple, right? So whenever you are using that temple bell, the sound of that bell goes around omnidirectional. It means in the 360-degree angle, the equal sound will be radiated. It's not like whenever you will press, you will ring the bell, then that bell sound will go only in the direction of the, you can say, statue of the god, right? It will go into the direction 360 degree. So they are saying that the antennas are also used in such a way so that the radio waves can travel in omnidirectional, so that these waves can travel everywhere in the air. When an antenna transmits the radio waves, they are propagated in all directions. So let us take one example. A sending antenna send waves that can be received by any receiving antenna. So this is your, let's say you are generating first of all radio waves. So first of all you are using a sound wave and microphone to convert it into electrical. Then you are using the amplifier to amplify the strength of the signal. Then you are using a transmitter. So whatever electric signal generated by human being will be transmitted through this antenna, broadcasting antenna. So this antenna will, you can say, radiate all around the, you can say, angle, right? So it is radiating omnidirectional. So sending antenna will send the waves and receiving antenna will receive this type of waves. Omnidirectional property has disadvantage also. The radio waves transmitted by one antenna are susceptible to interference by another antenna that may send signal using the same frequency or band. So what they are saying is, for example, take two antennas are there, right? One antenna is sending the signal of a specific frequency, and let's say another interference of the same frequency is also in the air, right? So whatever receiving antenna is there, that will receive the specific frequency. It does not know, right? That antenna does not know that this is the desired signal or the noise or the interference, right? It will capture the frequency only. So receiver will capture the frequency, doesn't matter either it is your original signal or the noise, right? So that can be the reason. Okay, so this omnidirectional property is having this disadvantage that whenever you are transmitting any signal through one antenna of the specific frequency, the receiving antenna will receive that frequency for sure. But it can be your signal also, and it can be the interference also. So both will merge together, and maybe you will receive some noise when you are receiving the sound, right? So if there is a problem of interference in the air and your receiver is not designed properly, so it cannot, let's say, remove the noise from the signal, then definitely you can feel the noise or interference in the receiving, right? Receiving signal, either in the mobile phone or whatever you are using. It is used, these radio waves are, obviously I already told you that it is used in the cellular phone, radios and television, right? So it is used in the mobile phone, AM or FM radio, and the television application. Last is, let me cover on right, microwave waves, same range is there, that is 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz. Generally, the microwaves can having a frequency range between 300 megahertz. But the range of the radio wave is lies in between, right? So radio wave and the microwave, you can say that lies in the same frequency range. My sound is not proper. Hello, is it okay now? So network of the phone can also have a problem, right? So is it okay? Someone is saying yes, someone is saying no. Okay, so unlike the radio waves, see, in radio waves, I told you that radio waves are transmitted and received by the antenna, which is in omnidirectional. Fine. But microwaves are not working like that. Microwaves are unidirectional, in which the sending and receiving antennas need to be aligned. Aligned means you are transmitting the signal with let's say, particular impedance. Then at the receiver side also, the same impedance will be there. If impedance is being matched, then and then the signal can be received. It is not in the omnidirectional. Okay, so it will be aligned together. So whenever transmitting antenna will transmit the signal, the signal will travel in one direction only, and the receiving antenna will receive that signal again in the from the one direction only. Okay, so signals whenever are transmitted into the microwave, the antennas are antennas should be properly aligned, right? Otherwise the signals cannot be received properly. Microwaves are widely used for point to point communication. Yes, I told you, right, that one antenna can transmit the signal, and if it is properly aligned receiver antenna is there, then only it can receive the data. So you can also consider this type of communication as point to point communication. Okay, and these are widely used for point to point communication because they are small wavelength, which means that the signal is focused into, see, high bandwidth 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz. So small wavelength is there, which means that the signal is focused into a narrow beam. Why it is a narrow beam? High frequency means the signals will be very sharp. It is not spreaded into a much distance, right? It is a narrow bandwidth signals. So narrow beams will be passed from one place to another place. Additionally, each antenna must be within line of sight of the next antenna. So you can understand by point to point, right? Point to point or line of sight are also, are having the same meaning, almost the same meaning. Generally, it is used for the satellite communication, navigation, radar, remote sensing, and other short distance communication system. So where these waves can be used, so for the satellite communication, navigation, whatever you are using, for the radar, which are being used in the another military type of applications. Remote sensing is nothing but whenever you want to do the communication at far distance, right? That is known as remote sensing, and the other short distance communication systems. And the last wave, for the wireless communication, the waves will be used is infrared waves. So infrared signals are having very high frequency from 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz. Okay, for 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz. The human being cannot visualize or cannot hear these frequencies. Okay, it is out of the human being range. They are used for the short range communication like TV remote, wireless speakers, automatic doors, I mean sensors, right? Or any handheld devices. So these are being infrared waves, obviously having very high frequency means very short wavelength. So it will be used for the short range communications like you are using in a TV remote, right? Everyone is using TV remote infrared signals. Then wireless speakers. So wherever short distance communication is there, you can use this. Infrared waves having high frequencies prevents interference between one system to another system. Why high frequencies will prevent interference? We have already discussed this into the modulation part also, right? Whenever high frequency is there, then the difference between two frequencies is also high. If you are saying that, let's say 300 terahertz and 301 terahertz, if you will see the value, only one value difference is there, but it is actually the difference of 1 terahertz, right? So 10 raised to 12. So difference is very high. So difference between each frequency value will be very high. So interference can be less. Infrared signals have high frequencies and cannot penetrate walls. So yes, if you are using your TV remote from another room, right, to access your TV, then it will not work because the signal infrared waves coming from your TV remote cannot penetrate into the walls. Okay. Due to its short range communication system, the use of an infrared communication system in one room will not be affected by the use of another system in the next room. This is why using an infrared TV remote control in our home will not interfere with the use of our neighbor's infrared TV remote control. And the disadvantages of using infrared are it cannot be used for the long distance communication. If you want to access something from one place to very long distance, then you cannot use this infrared waves, right? So this can be one of the disadvantages. In addition, we cannot use infrared waves outside the building because sun's rays contain infrared waves that can interfere. Yes, in the sunlight there is infrared waves also, right? So that infrared waves can be the disturbance with our desired signal, right? So that interference can occur with the signal, so you cannot use it outdoors. You can only use this infrared wave application indoors. Okay, so any doubts into the wireless communication? See, we have used two types of communication, or you can say transmission system. One is wired medium transmission, and second is wireless medium transmission. Here also we have seen three types of physical medium. Here also we have seen three types of wireless waves which are being transmitted into the wireless medium. Okay, and I told you that this is a very small chapter and a theoretical chapter, transmission medium. Any doubts to anyone? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. No doubts? Okay. So from the next lecture, in the next lecture onwards, we are going to use, sorry, Ashish is asking that in TCP layer, are we using any medium? So see, if you are talking about that models, OSI model or TCP IP model, then I already told you that you are using this OSI model and TCP IP model everywhere in the communication. Everywhere in the communication means, if you are saying that any wireless communication if you are using or any wired communication you are using, I already gave you one diagram also. Just a minute. See, I told you that these are this transmission medium. It can be wired, it can be wireless. Both can be there. So yes, definitely, to transmit the signal from one place to another place, from sender to receiver, we are going to use any of the medium, either cable or air. And this layer is nothing but the layer of that models only. Okay, you mean that between two layers? No, 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 there is no direct communication between two layers. Only, yeah, communication will be there, but only between the physical layer, not between the network layer or transport layer or data link layer. No, 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 Ashish. There is no direct, you can say that medium is there present between two layers. So no medium is present between the two layers. Any other doubts? Yes.
Ma'am, like we are transferring data.
Sorry, Ashish, can you
Ma'am,
repeat your
we
question?
transfer data from transfer layer to network layer, right? And
So
ma'am, am
you
I
want
audible?
to say that,
Hello?
okay, okay, I got it, your question. You are saying that in one type of, in transmitter only, two layers are there, right? One is physical, second is data link. So data link to physical. Okay, 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 I got it. I thought between the sender and receiver. Yes, definitely. If you are transmitting from application layer to session to transport, whatever layers you are consuming in between, right? So those all layers are definitely connected with a medium, but not this type of medium. Which type of medium will be there? Let me tell you. If you are saying that, let's say you are designing a system, right? For example, a computer, right? So from one computer to another computer, data is not directly being transmitted. The main medium is this air medium. For example, you are using a wireless medium, right? And in this wireless medium, you are transmitting the data which is coming from physical layer, from the transmitter to the receiver. But this layers what you are talking about is the system layers. System layers means inside your computer the data is being processed from one block to another block. So these are the blocks. One block will add the error detection bits, one block will make it in form of, you can say, frame, one block will make it in form of packet. So these are the system layers. Okay, and this is the transmission medium which is connected. Only this is the transmission medium. These are not the mediums. Okay, these are not the, you can say that, any particular cables or wireless medium what we have studied so far. Weekend TCP is connected and UDP is connectionless. It means one is wired or another is not layer. See, if you are saying that TCP and UDP, then you are talking about this TCP and UDP in the transport layer. But it does not mean that transport layer and network layer are connected with the wired or wireless. They are saying that if you are using the TCP or UDP, this medium what you are using at the physical layer connection can be wired or wireless. If you are saying that TCP, then this medium can be wired. If you are saying that UDP, it can be wireless, like that. Okay, so they are talking about this medium only. Transmission medium is this one only. Otherwise, this all layers are the system blocks which are connected with, you can say that parallel wires can also be there. If you are using a computer, then in computer, the systems are connected with the parallel wires, a bus, right? So it can be bus between two layers. Bus between two layers. So it is neither coaxial cable or twisted pair cable or something like that. Those are the simple connectors, simple metal connectors. That's it. Okay, so any other doubt, Ashish, or any other students? See, any other students have any doubt, then you can ask me. Otherwise, write your enrollment number. Sangram has already written. Sangram is in hurry, huh? Okay, so after writing your enrollment number, you can leave now.